Napoli hold firm on Koulibaly fee. Interest heats up in Van der Beek. Bayern Munich edge closer to the Bundesliga title. A transfer roundup and a look back on all of your Friday feels all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Frodek, here with the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, Napoli are holding pretty strong when it comes to the fee surrounding Kalidou Koulibaly. Now, the Senegalese centre-back has been the standout performer in the past few seasons in Serie A, and it's no wonder that so many clubs are linked with him. Apparently, in the last week or so, Manchester United made an €80 million bid. That puts him up there with the likes of Maguire and Van Dijk when it comes to centre-back transfer fees. But Napoli said absolutely no way. They're holding out for €100 million, which, in all honesty, I just can't see happening. Don't get me wrong, if Napoli really want to keep the defender, which they do, they're going to keep being stubborn over the price, and they've got him tied down until 2023 on a contract. But he is 29 years old. But there's just surely there's better options. Even if there isn't a better option now, like there's a centre-back who's not quite as good as Kalidou Koulibaly, surely in a few years' time they'll be just fine. And a team like Manchester United or whoever's interested won't need to go and spend €100 million on a 29-year-old. Let's face it, if they buy him and he's good for like 2 or 3 seasons after that, his price is just going to go further down. They're going to have an old player on a phenomenal amount of money per week and someone that they can't sell on for any sort of decent fee. So on one hand, yes, it probably is a fair price for the moment, but on the other hand, definitely not looking into the future. And in all honesty, you've kind of got to admire Napoli's guts. They haven't had the best of season. They're definitely not in a position to say, stick with us and we'll be winning Champions Leagues and titles and all this other stuff to players. So the fact that they can turn down bids from United, apparently PSG are interested, Real Madrid and even Liverpool as well, means, you know, they've got a bit of guts about them. Anyway, moving on into a transfer that may happen, well, has a little bit more chance of happening, and that is Donny van der Beek actually moving to United. This is all because of what Ajax CEO Edwin van der Sar has said. He's admitted that there is interest in van der Beek and that it looks like he will be leaving in the summer. This basically all goes back to what happened last summer. Van der Sar said that Ajax didn't want to sell too many stars and that a few of them, the likes of van der Beek and goalkeeper Andre Onana, well, they promised him that if they stayed with Ajax one more season, they'd let them go next summer. Now, as well, Onana's going to end up, we don't quite know. Chelsea are the ones who've been linked most strongly with their move for the former Barcelona man. But when it comes to Van der Beek, you can't help but think that Van der Sar's good relationship with Manchester United, where he played and won many titles for quite a few years, will actually help them in this transfer deal. Back in January, there was a rumour that Van der Beek had verbally agreed to join Real Madrid for around €50 to €60 million. And although it looks like that's the price that he will be going for, it's not so certain that he will actually end up at the Bernabeu. Zinedine Zidane is said to be an admirer of his, but on the flip side, my God, Real Madrid have so many midfielders. Even if they get rid of Modric, even if for some weird reason, I don't know, Toni Kroos leaves, even though he won't, they've still got so many players. There's Casemiro in there. They're looking at bringing Camavinga. Obviously, James Rodriguez is still there, along with Isco. You've got the 3 Brazilians in their attacking midfield, and Fede Valverde's been brilliant since he's come into the team. There's probably even more that I've just forgotten about. But Real Madrid have so many midfielders, I can't really see Van der Beek getting as much game time as he can at Man United. Of course, Real Madrid are Real Madrid, so it'd be a good move for him, whatever. But personally, I think he'd definitely get more minutes at Old Trafford. Anyway, moving on for the transfers, so just a little bit, and Bayern Munich have edged ever closer to an 8th straight Bundesliga title. After the whole season's worth of fighting, can Leipzig do it? Can Gladbach do it? Hey, what about Borussia Dortmund? No. Bayern go and do their usual thing. They finish strongly and looks like they're going to bring home another Bundesliga crown. Over the weekend, they managed to come from 1-0 down to beat Bayer Leverkusen 4-2, who you can't help but feel didn't do as well without an injured Kai Havertz in the side. Lewandowski was on target because, well, it's football and that's what he does, and that is his 30th league goal of an incredible season. Of course, Bayern still have the Champions League to contend with and the DFB Pokal as well, as they face Eintracht Frankfurt on Wednesday night in the semi-final. But anyway, back to Bayern winning. Well, it was helped by the fact that RB Leipzig drew at home to Paderborn. That means that Leipzig are very, very close to being out of contention for the title. Gladbach have definitely been knocked out of contention after a 1-0 loss to Freiburg, and that only leaves Dortmund, who are 7 points behind, as the real contenders. Of course, there's only 4 games left, and 2 wins for Bayern, which you can think they'll manage, will do it. In fact, if Dortmund lose at the weekend and Bayern win, then that's all there is to it as well. It looks like they will be sealing another title, but they may have missed out on quite a few transfer targets. Talking recently of Kai Havertz, well, it looks like he may be staying at Leverkusen for one more season. Timo Werner looks like he'll be joining Chelsea, and Jadon Sancho looks destined to move to the Premier League. So maybe things aren't exactly all going Bayern's way at the moment. So next up, in a quick roundup of the rest of the day, transfer rumours. And Manchester City are willing to rival Chelsea for the signing of Leicester fullback Ben Chilwell. Roma are apparently willing to pay the fee to make Chris Smalling's loan move from Manchester United a permanent one. On the flip side of this, RB Leipzig are not willing to pay the €25 million that will see Angelino join them from Manchester City on a permanent basis after a very impressive loan. And lastly but not least, Ivan Rakitic has said he will not be leaving Barcelona in the summer, even if it means he runs out his contract and leaves on a free next year. So finally, we come to a quick roundup of your Friday feels. This is where you guys left your weekend's Football League predictions in the comment section on Friday's Daily News. And first up, Srirag CR guessed that Schalke and Union would play out a 1-1 draw. Mohamed Sikandar guessed that Paderborn and Dusseldorf would both drop points. That's a pretty easy one considering they are, well, in the lower reaches of the table. And last but not least, Dev Kiran Bannock guessed that Wolfsburg would beat Werder Bremen 1-0, which definitely happened. Werder Bremen moving ever closer to the drop. So there you have it. That's all from me for today for the Daily News. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.